So Football Manager has been out for about an hour. You see the clock behind me there, an hour and 20 minutes so far. We've downloaded it. We've downloaded the updated version, of course. The editor is in, and now we can see who has the highest PAs and the lowest PAs in Football Manager 2024. So I'm going to show you 10 Wonderkid options with really high PAs in Football Manager this year. We're going to start off with Tottenham Hotspur, starting off with Mikey Moore. We mentioned Mikey Moore in our left wing Wonderkids previously. You can see him now, and of course, he has a really high potential. So Mikey Moore, you can see on screen now, is 171 for his PA, potential ability of 171. He looks okay at the start of the game, and now we can go and have a look at him at the end in 10 years' time in Football Manager. So Mikey Moore, 10 years down the line, this is how he's developed in-game, of course. He hasn't played a bunch of minutes. He's played 106 games, getting 20 goals so far, of course. He can develop a lot better in your saves if you are playing him from the start. But you can see on screen now, he's been at Spurs, didn't play for the first couple of seasons, only in the last 2 seasons, really playing a lot of minutes, getting a few goals. Of course, if you get in your team early doors, he could develop a lot better than what you see now on screen. Number 2 on the list is Severi Havseth Naipan. He starts off over in Denmark, and you'll say starting at Rosenborg, and you see on screen already. He looks like a bit of a Wonderkid already, looking at the attributes on screen from already. There's no face back in game. I do try and get one for this guy. But if you go back here, you can see now, he has a potential ability of 172. And that is not bad at all for the youngster. So 10 years down the line, this is Naipan. This is how he looks now, a bit more years into the game. Has developed quite nicely, but has stayed at Rosenborg for all of this time. I was quite surprised he hasn't actually moved club. He has been there the entire time, being a first teamer, not getting a lot of goals, but he has developed quite nicely. But again, though, he could probably develop more in your side if you get him in your team early doors. Next up on our list is going to be Michael Kiyode. He has 176 PA and starts over at Fiorentina. He's a right wing-back option. He's 18 years of age and looks really good at the start of the game straight away. Could probably get him in your starting 11s quite early doors, depending on the size of the team you are. I'll be trying to get this guy into a team nice and early. With that high PA as well, some great attributes on screen. What's not to like? So this is Kiyode now down the line, of course. We looked at him originally at Fiorentina. 10 years in this simulation. He is now at Liverpool. He's their starting right back, and he looks really good. He is redeveloping game for this team as well. He's been at Milan as well. You can see on the right-hand side here, Real Madrid, before joining Liverpool as well. So he's been at quite a lot. Been around the world. And going for some quite high fees, 25 million, 43 million, 46 million. So if you can get him early doors from Fiorentina and get that cash for him down the line, he develops really nicely. Next up is Valentin Bocca. A lot of people have been signing him during the early access beta period. Here's 176 PA over at Boca Juniors, and you can get him for quite a cheap price, between 4 and 12 million at the start of your games. Now, only 18 years of age, he looks incredible as well. Look at the attributes already on screen. This is just at 18 years of age, so imagine how he looks 10 years down the line. Let's have a look. So this is Valentin Bocca, 10 years down the line. He's been playing in the first team for Boca Juniors quite a while. He's developed quite nicely within the game. Had a few caps now for Argentina as well. He even got a goal for the Argentinian national side. High attributes and what I'm looking for in a fullback as well. Good crossing, good dribbling, good acceleration, decent passing, and vision of 16 as well. He has developed very nice indeed. Our next one is Israeli. We've mentioned this guy already in one of our Wonderkid videos looking at cam position players. Oscar Gulch comes in now with 176 PA. So we've called this one right already. And again, on screen now, playing at Salzburg, he comes in, he can play cam, he can play out wide, he can play in that CM role, and looks really good in game as well. In terms of PA, we mentioned there, 176 PA is quite a high ceiling for this guy. And I mean, attribute wise, you can see quite now how he looks, but 10 years down the line, he looks even better. So Grutsch, 10 years down the line, he stayed at Salzburg for all of this simulation. 10 years in now, he has stayed here the whole time. You can see on screen, he didn't really play many minutes, hasn't really developed within the game, but of course, someone who can really develop in this game, so he's definitely worth getting him in your team early doors. Hasn't developed much in this one, but for me, get him in early doors. The high PA is there. The ceiling is there. Just give him the minutes. Coming in next, we're going to Arsenal. It's Ethan Nwaneri on £55 a week, but he's already quite highly valued already at 16 years of age in game. Attribute-wise, he's not bad already at the start of the game, but I mean, he does develop. You can see now on screen, 170 PA. That is not a bad option to have in your team as well. I mean, 10 years down the line, take a look at him now. So this is Ethan Nwaneri now, 10 years down the line. You can see now he's 26 years of age. He's one of the highest earners at Arsenal, of course, on 94 grand a week, and he looks really good attribute-wise now. Some really high attributes in there for him. So he does develop quite nicely. In terms of playing for Arsenal, again, hasn't played a massive amount of minutes for Arsenal, so he has developed quite nicely by not playing. But again, get him in your first team in the early doors, and he will develop much nicer than this. Shaquille Van Persie comes in next, course, over at Feyenoord. He's valued between just under 10 million there, up to potentially 30 million. But attribute-wise, looks really good at the start of your games in the Feyenoord under-18s team. But you can see now a PA for 178. It's quite high, almost touching 180. This guy looks the real deal, and you can get him for a good price at age 16. He's well worth a look at, especially now we can see him 10 years down the line. So we go to Van Persie now, 10 years down the line. He's at Man City now within this universe. He made the switch from Feyenoord over to Man City. He actually went for a grand fee of 40 million. So it's not bad. He had a few years at Feyenoord, gone to the first team, and then finally made the switch over to Man City, where he hasn't really developed much and played as much there. He still looks a pretty good plot striker within the game. But again, if you can get him in earlier doors and get him in your 11, straight away, this guy's going to develop to the moon. Next up is Archie Gray of Leeds. You can play CM, play CDM, can even play Cam if you really wanted to, but I do feel he's better in those CM, CDM roles. Value between 13 and 39 million. It's quite a high valuation on this guy already, but again, he comes in as well quite nicely at 178 CA. So Archie Gray actually stayed with Leeds for all his career within this simulation. He never made that move away. And again, he's on quite good money now, 99 grand a week. His valuation's quite high. He has developed quite nicely within the game as well. In terms of minutes, again, it started slow for him. Then by 25-26, found half the games in the league and slowly built up from there. Leeds been up and down from the Premier League to the Championship. At this point now, in his most recent season in the Championship, 14 assists, 3 goals, 37 appearances, a good average rating as well. So he does develop quite nicely. But again, someone you should probably steal from Leeds early doors. We have a goalkeeper for you next. He is Restes. He starts at Toulouse at the start of your game. He's quite highly valued, though, between 28 and 83 million. But I do feel you can probably get him for a little bit less than that from Toulouse. Attribute-wise, looks really strong as well. And again, we'll take a look 10 years in the future shortly. But of course, I want to touch on that PA. 178 PA, almost touching 180. But he looked really, really good. And 10 years down the line, Restes himself didn't actually move quite a while before making the switch from Toulouse over to Monaco on a free transfer. But he's been a starter at Monaco now. He's 28 years of age. He's the French international goalkeeper as well, and he looks really, really good. He's developed so nicely in game now. Value between 43 million and 130 million. So again, if you can get him early doors, get him out of Toulouse, and invest in this keeper, he could be your starter for the next 10 plus years. He's 28 now. He can probably play for another, let's say, 5 years minimum at the top level, and he looks really, really good. And then finally, we're going to go to our last one now. He's got 181 PA, starting at Palmeiras over in Brazil. This is Estevão. Now you can see him on screen. This is how he comes at the start of your game at age 16 years of age. He looks pretty good. And I think there's a lot of room to develop with this guy. And next, we get to Estevão. Of course, we looked at him at 180 PA, and he looks really good. He's developed quite nicely in the game, but again, hasn't made the switch out of this universe. But of course, the 10-year simulation. He didn't really play for Palmeiras for so long, as well. He got to the team in the last 3 seasons. Getting a few goals, getting a few assists, not really massively developing, but of course, he's got 180 PA. If you get him in your first team early doors and build the team around him, this guy could be one of the best players in FM24 this year. He is well worth the investment. So there you go, that's 10 Wonderkids with really high PAs in Football Manager 2024 this year. It's worth signing them early doors and get them in your team. Don't just let them rot in the reserves like we've seen a few of these do that haven't really been playing. Get them in your teams from day one, or get them loaned out for first team football so they develop to reach that high potential. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have enjoyed it, please make sure you are liking the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you again for some more FM Wonderkids very, very soon.